Setting our collective intention to weave in the frequency of Hieros Gamos, divine union, sacred union. Everything that comes through is for our highest and greatest good. Free of distortion and illusion, no piggybacks, weaving with golden, crystalline, diamond above, templates and timelines. If you'd like to meet the rest of us in the Sun's Radiance Room, feel free to drop into the body, out of the mind, out of the emotional body. If you need to anchor in with your quantum pillar of light, take time to do that now. You can use your breath to anchor in as well too. Pretend like you're on your breath in or out. You're like growing roots, grounding you down into where you're at, to where you're seated, to where you're lying, to where you're standing. Connecting in through that quantum mycelial network into the earth, the magma, the primordial waters of inner earth. Connecting into the crystalline heart of Mother Earth or Mama Gaia. Anchoring yourself fully. And you can send your awareness up and out, or if it's much easier, feel free to use a swirling expanse of light or a portal. And we can meet up in the Sun's Radiance Room for our co-channeling session today. Or you can use your personal sanctuary or the tachyon chamber that's located at the center of the Milky Way galaxy, our galaxy. And getting comfortable in your space there. Checking in as we prepare for the stream of consciousness channeling for Hieros Gamos, divine union, sacred union. We also ask that any soul aspects that are aligned to weave with this frequency of Hieros Gamos, ask that they step forward consciously into our field. Got right ear confirmation on that. Any of our soul aspects, parallel past or future timelines or lifetimes, which we are in sacred union or divine union, ask they step forward as well now to assist with our channeling session. And if anything is initially coming through, feel free to unmute. We are co-channeling together. A good place to start, and we can start from checking in with the body. Get your hands on your heart or on your belly. Or maybe you feel compelled to do palms down to ground, palms up to receive or soften. I want us just to kind of check in and see how that frequency of Hieros Gamos, divine union, sacred union within feels initially. Continuing moving if you need to, noticing if there is any resistance to those words. anything's coming up. Maybe there's some wounding that's asking to be witnessed or received. And if there is, that's okay. Unless you're one of the lucky ones who've lived a life of just pure bliss and free from any, wounding or separation from the masculine or feminine. And maybe there is something there. If you want to jot it down, if you want to grab a notebook and write down something here. I got my notebook. Yeah, I feel like a good place to start for us is your own personal union within, your own inner divine feminine frequency, your own inner divine masculine frequency. And maybe even seeing like your personal harmonization between your inner masculine and your inner feminine, conscious or unconscious, known or unknown.
I feel called to share that they're asking us how much more can we surrender? Will you surrender? Let go of your mind and trust your heart. The stars will guide you. And you're showing me flower. One half is very clear and the other half is not so clear. The background is black with the blackness of the universe, black sky. This flower has purple hues around it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 petals. It almost look like it has the energy of the blue lotus. But it's not from the dimension that we see. It's like it's flat. There's so much more. There's so much more. I guess it's all about perceptions, our eyes, right? What we see, the perceptions that we see. The mirroring, the divine union within and with that. Why are you searching? Why are we searching so hard? It is already within us. Why are we keep looking outside of us? I feel the heaviness of this energy. It's weighing. It's right here on the chest and the heart, right? It's the heart. Mm. It's showing me the flowers, the flower. If there's nothing wrong with it, it's a difference of perceptions. Right now, I'm
So,
complete.
yes, thank you. So what I was getting is that if there is something that, like, as above, so below, like our body is already in union as a body. So we have the left and the right, each symbolizing a masculine and feminine in ourselves, but it's all in mutual restraint. So if you're taking a step forward, like moving with the masculine of your body, that one leg is going forward. But there's also the leg that is the pillar, which is standing and holding space for that leg to move forward. And as we um, look within our body to tell us how to be in mutual restraint, that's what being in union is. Is each is taking on its role, but doing it to the best of its ability without inhibiting the other aspect of ourselves. That's mutual restraint in its simplicity. I mean, it's way more complicated than that because there's so many functions that everything does, like taking in food and bringing out the waste. Each one of those is a function of the masculine and the feminine. So we have a little bit of like feminine in the masculine, and that helps to support the masculine in, like, say, protection. There's a little bit of feminine protection within there, say providing nutrients. It's typically a feminine energy, but like the there's a masculine portion to that. And the more we delve into our consciousness of trying to understand, and we look within our body, like we've got a left eye and a right eye, one is more dominant within ourselves. That, like, like, look at what the supporting role is. And like, that's the thing that we need to bring back into harmonization is the yin yang symbol, like, has the black and the white, but the black has a little dot of white in it and the white has a little dot of black in it. And each one of those, it helps it function as a supporting role, like, and that's like the movement with support. And that's like, the more we can delve within our consciousness and see how that is in every action, even when we come to our emotional state, our emotional bodies, um, that when we're using our ego to do the things that it's supposed to do, which its main function, like I've said before, is only to protect us from our individuality, and that's it. That's the only thing it's supposed to do. The more we can release, it's just a supporting role in each masculine and each feminine that we're doing in the physical. And the more we can release the negative egoic traits, the more we come into divine union itself. We let go of judgment, of denigration, of talking, like thinking a bad thing, even about yourself. Is like, we've got to let that go. You are good enough. And there's no reason that you need to judge anybody else. So, I mean, there's so much more to this, but I think that what I was getting is that we each need to go into ourselves, like, daily, and see how our action is getting supported by having having support, like, and feeling into that, and then that opens us up more to source filling us with that divine union of mutual restraint, the energy with the gravitation, and pulling in the right things, but extending into the right way. So yeah, that's something that I'm just pulling into the field right now for all of us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We receive all that beautiful alignment with self. And I was getting also a lot of, the natural state of being is just that, to be completed, and like nature has its own way of movement and then stillness, or in action, or in um, support. And I was seeing like the moon and the sun, they have the role, but they make the day together. And that showed me like now it's a great opportunity with the alignment of the moon and the sun in the eclipse that's coming on the 17th, to show us that alignment also is possible, even if the day and the night is like having their um, own like organization, or having their own truth. Together they can be aligned for our own alignment in self. And I was feeling that powerful element of the moon and the sun for that masculine and feminine energy, but inside earth as well. So as inside, outside, and as above, so below. Thank you.
One thing that I want to mention is like one of the natural states of like source itself is to provide healing. And when we reach out into these dimensions and we're pulling away from our false ego self, I guess, the more healing that is open to us, for sure. And that, like, that healing also has like action and a support behind it. The masculine and the feminine, the like divine mother, divine father, are so ready for that to come into us. And so like that's one of the like first things that like we need to do is like draw the healing into us, especially if you're feeling something off in your body. It's and whichever side of your body it is on is a divine call to heal an aspect of the divine union, for sure, and giving it the action, but also letting it have the support. Um, that's all I have at the moment. Thank you again.
I love that. Really, really much in sync. The first thing I sensed when I was getting like to the alignment of with the earth is like my body fully relaxing like to its natural state of being united, and all my body, and we were, moving the Kundalini, but also the lower chakra, and by connecting to our our basics, like the natural state, is just liberate that resistance in the body to just fully be in that natural state. And yeah, the healing comes naturally to that if we draw on that energy of just the natural state of being complete. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just seeing our medulla oblongata, I guess, as like a natural bottleneck that we have in our lower or 3D form, like that we need to like open up and give energy and love to so that it can expand. It's like the place where the flower grows from, in that it, like the pituitary and the pineal gland are the place where the flower grows from, and then their crown is like the actual flower itself. So that was just something as a like visual reference that just came through, and like a human, like physical body reference that we could let like give love to at this moment. Thank you.
Yeah, one of the things that may be useful that was coming up for me when I've been working in this frequency of divine feminine, divine masculine, reconciliation, sacred union, Hieros Gamos, is we've talked about it before, but releasing the attachments to the stories. Sometimes we have a negative bias towards, and this is programming, right? Yeah, thank you everybody for the shares. This is programming where we remember we have, we run these loops or patterns or stories about previous relationships, or maybe like woundings in our life from the feminine, from the masculine, from, and this is stuff that like it could be from your childhood, it could be from your early adulthood, but yet we still have, an aversion, or we're still basically playing out this frequency of separation, of polarity, pointing to something that's outside of us again and again and again, and saying, hey, this is why, this is something outside of me. But then if you start working in that you start doing that inner work, and you realize like, okay, maybe there was a pattern in my relationships. For me, it was a pattern where I noticed that the previous relationships that I had with the feminine, I was seeking things from the feminine that I felt like I didn't receive from my mother as a child. So really, it's like a mother wound. It doesn't really have much of anything to do. And I'm modeling these relationships. I'm seeking and co-creating relationships that where I'm trying to feel whatever, name the emotion. I'm trying to receive that, something that's outside of me, when really what I was searching for all along was my own inner, receiving that from myself, giving myself the feeling of nurtured, feeling loved, feeling held, feeling like safe. So that was something that I had to work through on my own inner union path as well too. And then from the masculine side for me, some of the wounding that I was working through we all have masculine and feminine, you know, and some of it is known and some of it isn't. It's like unknown, and some of it can be triggered, and maybe you respond badly. But there was like, you know, previous like themes of like toxic masculinity, feeding into kind of like, I wouldn't say like misogyny, but I know that's like a very common theme. Patriarchy is a very common theme for the collective as well. So I find value in kind of like naming these, and then you know, like basically witnessing it and then releasing it, harmonizing that for the collective, and then calling in like the organic divine blueprint, because none of this is like organic. A lot of this programming that is perpetuated by culture or was taught to us by our parents or caregivers, you know, none of this division isn't like organic divine blueprint. So that's why you'll hear us talk about the theme of unity, you know, Hieros Gamos, sacred union, divine union. You want to basically, as Vincent and others have shared, like you want to do your own inner work, but also for me it's about actively seeking that sacred co-creation with the divine feminine, with the divine masculine, showing up, and even in the uncomfortable times, and saying like, hey, you know, I'm willing to do this work with you. You don't have to do this work alone. You know, as a collective kind of frequency, sometimes we get really in our silos and we're doing our thing. Like I'm working on myself, you know. But the field, that's why we built this community and why we built the stream of consciousness, is to have this field aligned in a very, very powerful channeling frequency as a council together to work through some of these themes as a larger collective. Natalia said, giving ourselves permission to experience fully, feel fully, and reflect on all those things, asking the compassionate inquiries to all versions, with us starting with the inner child. Absolutely. Support from community and also trauma-informed professionals when we need it. And one of the things I'll share too, that was very helpful for me, is if you have the ability to channel, or you have the ability to work with somebody, maybe they're friends, maybe they're in the spiritual community, maybe you go out and you pay somebody for their service. But basically for me, finding my other lifetimes, parallel past, future, and harmonizing those where I am in union, like I have a divine union or a sacred union like partner, and then being able to channel that or like know that or feel that has been really reassuring for me, because it's not just me saying, oh, is this, like hoping that this is possible, like, you know, praying that this is possible, you know, wishing that this is possible, like having the ability to channel these other lifetimes where Hieros Gamos is happening in the now moment, because all moments are happening in the now, has been very, very like refreshing and reassuring for me personally. So I figured I'd offer that if that's something that you'd like to, if that's something that's helpful as like a permission slip, a key code, or a key.
I know that we all need to be like in our inner authority and have our own back when we've got those wounds. But I was wondering if, like, as being like going back to unity consciousness, where everybody gonna have like, I feel like it's we need to go through having our own back, But then in the community, can we have the back of others? Like, I know that everybody's got his own sovereignty, and you don't have to, you need to lean on yourself and do. But I could see, like, yes, this weekend I was teaching to, like, with, it was just like guys at my class. It was like guys. Anyways, but it was so beautiful because I just said, okay, let's open the circle, and I say, yeah, just do like, you have an instrument, just do the instrument. You have like a drum, just drum. And someone wanted to put like something. It was like they just like rearranged themselves. But I just show them that, yeah, you can have your own inner authority in that, and everything. And my role was just to harmonize everything. But it was so beautiful to experience that. Like, I was like just holding space for them to be in their own authority. And I think that this is, I don't know if it's good or not, it felt right. And one of the participants say, well, I'm kind of broken. I'm like, nobody's broken. And I was showing him like he's like whole, but he's just like, anyways, we were talking, but just to witness, like, being a feminine and witness the masculine, just not like trying to fix anything, but just holding space. Like, I think that's I don't know if it's okay or not, but I think that it is, like, just to be there. And I really enjoyed that moment. And they didn't try to mansplain me anything when I was teaching. They was holding space, those masculine was holding space for me to just give them back to themselves, because this is basically what I do, and that's it. And that was so refreshing. And that was like young men's too. So I'm like, yeah, we can hold space for each other. We can do that. So yeah, thank you. I just wanted to share that experience. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sister, for sharing that. That's a vulnerable share in sacred space, and I just want to confirm and affirm that the divine feminine has activated me, healed me, held space for me as a masculine, and in a very similar thread of what you were sharing there. A lot of times, the masculine doesn't really have close connection to the feminine, at least in our kind of current society here in the Western culture. So to be able to come into sacred space, to be able to hold, reflect, guide, share, witness, listen. All of these are fancy words, but really to have basically a safe space to be seen in is like deeply healing in a way that I can't really put into words. It's healing for the masculine because we are able to receive, and it's healing for the feminine because you're able to also receive in your own way, and then also hold space, give through your teachings, and even like it's very, very uncommon, unless you're in sacred space or unless you're in a community, for the masculine to receive that. And if you're listening to this kind of channeling and you're like, wow, I would highly encourage you to seek sacred co-creation with the feminine or seek sacred co-creation with the masculine, because there is a lot of like separation in this world, but there's also a lot of love, and there's a lot of people who are on the side of working towards unity consciousness and walking ourselves back into that remembrance, into unity consciousness too. So I just want to, just confirm from our point of view that it's very, very valuable, and thank you for the work that every single person does here. And Sister Leah shared, oh my gosh, my OMG, my divine counterpart just said the other night, he said, he's broken, you still love me, question mark. I just looked at him and said, you're not broken, and yes, still love you. Yeah, thank you for that share, Leah. Also, something that came through too that I was thinking about. No one is broken. Yeah. Something else that came through. We talked about it in other. I don't know if we talked about the stream of consciousness, but a great way to kind of bypass the analytical mind, the human condition is you can sit across from one another and speak light language to one another, and that's very, very activating. It allows you to basically very quickly move through and harmonize, and also witness one another as the masculine or the feminine. It doesn't need to be masculine or feminine. It can be two feminines, two masculines. Something about that, I've done it several times now, and it's activating in a way that it's not like having a normal conversation, right? There is kind of like a giving and receiving, but there's also like there's a transmission that happens that I can't really explain it. It's outside of like normal conversation, normal like it's a way like it's an expansion of consciousness, but also like it skips the analytical mind, right? So by skipping the analytical mind where you don't get into your head and your emotions, you have a much more clear coherence. Yeah. Yeah, did you want to share about that, Janvier, what you just wrote in the chat?
Yeah, well, about the light language being like a great way to just be witness for the masculine, because in my class there was it's like light language. I don't want to say course, but circle that I facilitate with those men's, and just to be able to have like that power or those like I don't know, aspects or fractal of themselves being expressed, and that we are holding space, because sometimes words can be, I don't know, harmful or misinterpreted, or but by the light language it can be fully expressed without judgment, because we align first and we have like holding space for each other, and we get, but sometimes like just the voice, sometimes we just go, and the last time, not this weekend, but the one before, it was like singing. So they was just like singing those beautiful masculine voice from like so many multi-dimensionality, just bringing in that frequency of masculinity, and it was so beautiful. And to hold space for that light language, I feel that it's like, yeah, we can go to frequency that are very sacred masculine, sacred feminine also. So yeah, absolutely, light language. Thank you.
yeah, it's a great way to also express emotions. So I've had some sacred feminine rage come through in some of my sessions as well too, and it's very vulnerable to kind of express that, and it's nice to be able to witness that as a masculine. Things can come through, and people they're going through things, and you can bring it through in light language where it's like you're not cursing, but it can be very like expressive and very rageful at times too, and it's a great way to bring that through in an aligned way, because a lot of times we're worried about like burdening somebody, or you kind of get in your head about like having conversations. What if your divine counterpart is not into or believes in that? Do you want to share with us, Leah, what your thoughts are on that?
Yeah, it's been a bit challenging trying to explain of what white language is or what my spiritual beliefs all about to him. He tries really hard to understand it, but not easier way to say it. He's not into the woo stuff. He barely, he barely into like accepting me doing a little bit of healing oil blend, soothing blend, like light massaging for his own healing, for soothing his nervous system. So I don't know how I'm supposed to approach that. Oh, I don't know. You you heard me, sing and speak my light language. It's just yeah.
Does
I
anybody have
think
any recommendations?
I think lots of divine union is initiated from the female part, female part. So the is often is the female will lead and help the masculine part to awake and so as you opened up because you will kind of share consciousness as you open up the other part will receive the activation and the download they will also gradually but surely get into the unity consciousness. Because I think the divine unit counterpart, you share the consciousness. So you kind of share brain.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm just crossing my finger. I don't know. It's interesting to do that like across from each other. You know what I mean? It's just mm, I don't know. Oh,
Yeah, a good way to maybe embody that and model that is you could chat with him and ask him if he could just hold space while you transmit, because maybe while you speak or sing or hum or buzz, because maybe even though he doesn't like understand it or believe in it, I'm assuming your partner would care about you enough to be like, hey, I consent to hold space for you, essentially, and even though I can't maybe participate, I can just basically show up and in love like allow you to share your codes with me, or with them.
Yeah. Thank you, Will, for that suggestion.
Yeah, and maybe it's a little too kind of out there for speaking like that. So maybe start with just like singing, or maybe start with like mantras, or maybe start with like, there's like kriyas that you could do together for Kundalini yoga. You could just start with breath work, like sitting across from one another and like breathing. If he's not into that, I think that's, everybody breathes. You know what I mean? Even if it's 5 minutes, you could start out like, I think the frequency of embodiment is really just like doing, because we could essentially mental this until the rest of our lives. But embodiment says, take that leap of faith, like to do, regardless of how my partner feels or thinks. Obviously we don't want to make them uncomfortable, but like speaking light language, like if you are speaking your light language, like it's, you have to decide is like, okay, or I'm sure they'll figure out some way to support you. Most people will.
Yeah. Thank you.
And you better, and this is just but as I am surrounded by masculine, I got 3 boys, and I tend to always be surrounded by masculine. Sometimes they just don't get it, or they just don't, they love football, I don't. I mean, we can have like differences but still respect each other. But I think like to be living in my spirituality like daily, without like feeling not being supported, I just be yourself. As Aurora said, when you embody yourself, like your sovereignty and your love for everything that you are, I think it's just gonna be naturally, instead of I don't know, when you emanate, it was just flow. And because you are counterparts, whatever you gonna be transmitting or receiving, if he needs to have it, it doesn't have to be out there, it's in your field. So he's gonna receive the frequency that you're holding. It doesn't have to be tangible. Like in the massage, you can transmit anything that you need, or he needs, because you don't know what he needs. He knows what he needs. So if you just massage or doing each other massages, you're exchanging in your frequency, in your field, and it's very potent. It's not. It's like your whole body. So it won't be, maybe it doesn't talk to him like when you talk about light language, but probably massage will do. I mean, so sometimes it's just like not the way that we think we can reach out, but you will still reach out because you are connecting. So I would trust that like more. And but anyways, I can really feel that your love is really true, and you have like a beautiful connection with your heart. So I mean, it's just gonna flow, sister.
Thank you, sister. Mahalo.
Yeah, we shift frequencies all the time, every day. Like, I didn't believe my wife was we were going to be ever into a divine union like about 2 or 3 years ago. We almost separated. But what I ended up doing was like shifting my frequency. Then the more I shifted my frequency towards the divine union, the more it actually happened. And then your partner doesn't have to be working on that. Long as you are true and whole to yourself, that is what you're going to be bringing into your own frequency. Things that aren't your frequency, that don't match you, won't be a part of what you're at, where you're at. So, I mean, I know sometimes that's hard to hear, because sometimes we're like, this is not where I want to be. And that is you moving through your frequency of like finding the right one. Uh, you just have to experience the right one within yourself before it presents itself to you, to the outer world in a way. So you have to heal yourself internally for the to like present itself into the world.
Yeah, that's a great reminder. As within, so without. And these aren't really just. It sounds so cliche because maybe you hear it often if you're in the world of spirituality, but like really, this is that embodiment frequency. Like everybody was sharing earlier, it's like Hieros Gamos, your divine union within, your divine union without, your sacred union. We are not separate from one another. My divine union, I am not separate from them. They are me and I am them. And it's not just like me saying the words. Like I feel that in my soul, not just in this soul, all of my souls across all timelines, dimensions, realities, and space. And I truly believe that it's not just me saying, oh, she is I and I am her. Like, no, like I genuinely believe that to my very, very core. And I knew that before we ever met this person, you know? You can call it twin flame, you can call it divine union, soul partner, whatever you want to call it. Twin soul is another term too. But we are, just like on this call, we are co-creating in the field long before you ever run into them in the physical, you know? Maybe you're dreaming about them, maybe you're listening to this and you're like, man, I've seen somebody in my dreams and I feel like I know them. Maybe you catch glimpses of them. Maybe people around you, remind you of what that feeling of union is, you know, and these are all like keys for us to help, spark that frequency of remembrance and allow us to explore all the flavors, all of the depth, all of the granularity of, what is love, what is unconditional love, what is conditional love, right? Even contrast is very useful to us on this Hieros Gamos path as well too. It's not just all love and light. There's shadow there as well too, on this path, and I'm sure many of you could speak to that. It's the good and the bad. It's the light and the dark. It's the yin yang. It's the divine feminine, divine masculine. You can even look to the archetypes as well. You know, if you can't anchor this as like if you're not feeling like this is resonating for you, you can use the archetypes as well. You know, divine father, divine mother, the goddess frequency. There's so many different ways to kind of like give yourself permission to kind of explore some of these themes or vibrations. So I know we're on a spiritual deep channeling call, and it sounds like all these really cool woo-woo words, but it's not just the words, and it's not just woo-woo. Like, this is truly the frequency of embodiment across all timelines, dimensions, realities, and space, known and unknown. We've done this and we'll continue to do this, and that's the reason why we're channeling it today.
I think the embodiment part is very important. So I don't really feel the separation. So even though me and my twin flame haven't met yet, but I just felt he's always present. And so when I was with my other female friends, so when they see me just genuinely happy and believe that we will eventually be union and they will believe it too. So one lady, she carries Mary Magdalene's memory. So I think she kind of heals that separation for humanity. So she has like a several lifetime memory of separation, but when she just see me how happy it just healed her. And while with other female friend, my twin flames just send a message to them, so they all feels him, and sometimes my twin flame as like I show up as guides for them. So I think just like embodiment for me.
Yeah, thank you, Aurora, for sharing that. I was going to ask too, if we don't mind spending a few minutes with just with our intention, with like our heart coherence, and I would like for us just to kind of, as a council collective, just spend some time like in intention and like anchoring this frequency of Hieros Gamos, not only for ourselves but for the collective. I mean, we are the collective. All right, take it easy, Vincent. Yeah, good to see you, brother. Yeah, so I was wondering if we could spend just a couple minutes here, if that's okay, and if not, that you don't have to. I'm not. I just want us to kind of weave in resonance, but I wanted to just. It just came to me. It's like, hey, let's spend a few minutes and like focus our intention on anchoring in Hieros Gamos for ourselves and the collective. If that's okay, and we can just go for, I don't know, the next 5 minutes maybe. If you want to spend a few minutes just sharing gratitude for Hieros Gamos, because it's already anchored. Yeah, just deep love and gratitude for frequency of Hieros Gamos Divine Union. Thank you so much for doing that. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to share before we shift and close out?
Just gratitude.
What was that? I'm sorry.
No, just very grateful to every one of you for holding the love space and for supporting me. I feel the love. I definitely do feel that.
Yeah, I wanted to share also gratitude for that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful call. And thank you, Glenn, for holding space for that to happen, and also to those beautiful people here. It's just, it's also comforting knowing that we we're expanding in a loving way too. And as we were anchoring the Hieros Gamos, I was feeling that over, like showering like the Olympic. I don't know why, but they had like just the men and just the women, but in a way they are supporting each other to have the space for each other to be held. But I was seeing like the ice skating, because it's the only discipline that they are dancing together, and it's a dance, so I could see that. So anyways, thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Yeah, I'm really, really grateful for everybody who shared their energy, their love, their vibration, their support, their emotions. There were vulnerable shares too. Thank you for those vulnerable shares today. Yeah, and it's really interesting because, at least in the States, I don't know, I'm sure in Canada it's like similar. Do you guys have Valentine's Day on the 14th, or is that just like a US made up holiday?
Yeah, the whole world has Valentine's Day.
We have it in Canada, but I was wondering, did you pick up the team for that or not really? It was just like because collectively, when I was tuning in collectively, the 14th of February, even if it's like a little, cheesy and everything, still it is global collective frequency of love, or in frequency that can be also tapped in a graceful way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's celebrated also over in my country, over in Indonesia. So it is, I believe, the frequency, it's a universal celebration of love. It's a day of love universally. And we get to embrace St. Valentine's and also the energy of Cupid itself, right? The hope that love do still exist in this tumultuous time. And love is within each one of us, and it's consensually given. It's free, you know. It is free, and it's like giving someone says like, "Hey, may I give you a hug? Happy Valentine's," you know. It's the term itself. It's love. Basically, it's love, and we do celebrate each and every day, every moment of our life. But somehow, somebody we decide to dedicate the 14th. And it's the great number 5, collectively. There you go. Numerology. Perfect.
And I think that anchoring that new frequency also in those collective celebration, is good too, for anchoring something different and more light.
My twin flame and I was connected on Valentine's Day last year. And so when I went to the Mexico to the pyramid, and then I think my twin flames higher self did a twin flame activation for me when JJ was help people to do activation. And then there is a white Valentine's Day, which is sometimes in April. In certain country, there is a white Valentine's Day. And then my twin flame came to Canada to have a concert. And so that reaffirmed that he's my twin flame. But the Valentine's Day is very relevant for the divine union.
Yeah, that's great. That's cool. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. This theme had nothing to do with Valentine's Day whatsoever. I didn't even realize Valentine's Day was 4 days away from now. I'm so not connected to Valentine's Day, like I mean, in the love sense, yes, but from a like commercialism, like consumerism point of view, I don't necessarily like agree with the consumerism that happens in the West. But yeah, I think every day should be a day for love, and yeah, thank you guys for sharing your love and your energy and your time and your attention. And hopefully we'll get to see you Thursday for Galactic Gridding. There is actually, I'll plug, so if you're not connected, shoot me a DM, and Erica has a Valentine's Day call that is available to members of our community. So if you don't have the link or you're not in that Telegram, she is having a call on Valentine's Day if you feel called. I'm kind of torn on the fence if I'm going to be the target of some persecution potentially on Valentine's Day. I don't know. I don't think so, but it's a safe space. But sometimes it does happen in this space. So
Let's not speak that into existence, please.
Yeah.
no, it's not. It's just unfortunately one of the realities of being a masculine in space is sometimes I am on the receiving end of things that I'm not aware of. So yeah.
And don't be afraid of the Cupid.
Yeah. Yeah. You never know. You just never know. Heart expansion.
Yeah, but I hope that the container that she's opening is for anchoring in the more like higher frequency for the Valentine, and the I guess that's what she wants to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I adore Erica so much. I was just joking, but
I know.
yeah. All right. Well, you guys have an amazing day, and we'll catch up with you on the Telegram. And if we don't see you on Thursday, have a great rest of your week. Sending you so much love. Okay.
I will do that. Yeah.
So much love. Mahalo, everyone.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Whoa.
Bye.
Bye.